Hi, I'm Mira Love with Mentorship and Spiritual Mastery. We're here together exploring your questions. Thank you so much for sending them in. You can always put them in the comments below and I will respond. The question for this exploration is, what do I do when I am super triggered? I got a text from a mentee this week, and the text simply said, "It's happening. I'm in it right now. What do I do?" I knew they were speaking about a certain pain pattern that they're in the process of reshaping, and it brings up a very strong triggered state of being for them. So here's what you do. I'm going to share three things that you can engage anytime to quickly shift out of a triggered state. And I've put those three things into an acronym for you so you can remember them easily. Because we all know that when the triggered state is loud, it is often hard to remember how to care for ourselves. The acronym is BOS, BOSS. Now, I know that boss is spelled with two S's, even though my spelling is rather atrocious, but we don't need the extra S. These three steps, if you follow them through, are more than enough to completely change your state of being. So we're going to call BOS boss. And in the context of the practice of your spiritual mastery, the boss is your wisdom self, that part of you that is totally free from confusion. Your wisdom self is visionary and able to see all kinds of choices and possibilities that the triggered part of you is not able to see. When you step into the identity of your wisdom self, you have the power to clearly perceive what actions will keep you safe and increase your life force. As the boss, it's a no-brainer to turn away from growth through suffering and deepen your path of growing through joy. And I do mean literally, it's a no-brainer. You don't have to figure anything out. As the boss, you are in the flow of your intuitive knowing. You already know. So, as soon as possible, when you recognize that you are triggered, which simply means that some part of you is calling out for care, hand the wheel back over to the boss and get your wisdom self in the driver's seat. And that will happen by doing the three things I'm about to share with you. When you engage these things, you will act as your wisdom self and as that conscious, visionary, loving guide. You will be able to bring the triggered part of yourself to a more life-giving place. BOS. Here's the practice. B is for blessings. As soon as you get at all out of sorts, even in the slightest way, start sending blessings. Why are you going to start sending blessings? Because sending blessings brings immediate nourishment to your mind in a multitude of ways. When you start sending blessings, you shift into the mind stream of your wisdom self. When you send blessings, you're acting as your wisdom self, and you have directly entered the state of spiritual mastery. Your state of spiritual mastery is the state of being where it's easy to recognize the good forces within and all around you. And not only are you able to recognize the good forces, but you know that you are a generator of good forces. And that is a life-giving identity to consciously step into. It feels really good. Now, when you're sending blessings, they don't have to be in a religious tone or from any particular spiritual tradition. If you have ones that resonate with you, are actually authentically grounding for you, great. But to bless something simply means to wish goodness upon it. The energy of a blessing is the beautiful energy of, I wish you well. May you have all the good things of this life. I am sure you already send people blessings all day long in your own unique way, and you don't even realize it because giving those forms of blessing are natural for you. You're already spontaneously in your spiritual mastery. The most easy blessings are things like honest compliments, expressing genuine gratitude, and simple statements like, have a good day. And really sharing the warmth of your own being with others through your eyes, your smile, a simple touch. These are all beautiful blessings. You don't actually have to speak anything. These are ways of reminding yourself and others that we're not alone. If you want, you can start with blessing your triggered part. That's often very meaningful. Send the blessing through your own mind stream, saying to that part of yourself that is in pain and confusion, thank you. Thank you for coming forward for care. Thank you for letting me know that this situation you're in is painful and isn't working. I'm listening. It's so wise of you to let me know. You're amazing. And I really, really love you. I really want you to have every good thing in this life. I'm here and I'm going to take care of you now. When you communicate in that way, when you say to yourself, I'm here, then you know that you can call on your wisdom self to help that part of yourself. Now, that part of yourself that's triggered, that's in the triggered state, will probably have resistance to sending and receiving blessings. Because here's the thing, the triggered part is identifying as being cursed. They are experiencing that. They completely identify as one who is cursed. And in fact, when people often reach out to me, overcome by a trigger, the communication is usually literally full of curses. F this, F that, they can go F themselves, etc. You can fill it in from there. Maybe you've experienced this. The triggered mind has a very narrow scope of expression that is exclusively focused on seeing curses. This is one of the markers of the growth through suffering mind, a mind stream of curses. Cursing yourself, cursing others, cursing life, being cursed by others, being cursed by life, being cursed by yourself. If you ever have this experience, this sense that you're against yourself, sabotaging yourself, this is the mind stream of curses. And needless to say, the mind stream of being cursed, the experience of being cursed is a very painful thing. It's a very painful state of mind to be in. But the boss, your wisdom self, never gives or receives a curse. I'm going to say that again. When you identify with the boss as your wisdom self, you never give or receive a curse. Your wisdom self is protecting and nurturing life only, always. As the boss, you can only give and receive blessings. That's all the boss does. Every thought form in the mind stream of your wisdom self is a blessing. So when you consciously begin to give blessings, you align with your wisdom self in a very embodied and direct way, instantly. As your wisdom self, it's totally easy to spontaneously give blessings. Whatever pops into your mind, bless it. Whatever you're seeing, hearing, start sending blessings to everything around you. Just let it be fun. Don't think too much about it. Just get into that spirit of, I wish you well. You're amazing. May you be surrounded by loving connection. It's really important to keep your stream of blessings going long enough to actually experience a shift in your mental state. You want to recognize and validate that a positive energy shift has occurred. This is a major key to building spiritual power. Even if it's subtle, notice it. Let yourself move in the direction that is nourishing. And when you are super triggered, this might take some time. It might take a little while of blessings before you really can acknowledge that your mind stream has shifted. But I mean, what's the rush? It's wonderful to bathe your mind in blessings. It's way better than sitting there and cursing yourself and everybody else for all of eternity. So keep it light, keep it easy, like it's no big deal for you to be a walking field of blessings. You're exuding blessings through every pore of your skin. May you be well. May the person in the car next to you reach their destination. Thank you, air. Thank you, trees. May everyone around me be welcomed with open arms. May you have a beautiful day. You just keep the blessings going till you can directly validate, yes, as the boss, I have shifted the energy. My mind stream is in a better state now. And when you can validate that, celebrate. Celebrate your freedom to do that. So that's B. B is for blessings. And then you can move on into the next step of being the boss, which is O. O is for outreach. Outreach is a form of care that is specifically extended to your emotional body, and it's the antidote for the feelings of isolation that accompany the triggered state of being. This one is about the heart. It's about loosening up the energy of the heart. Outreach means you are intentionally fostering loving connections by offering care to others and to yourself. These can be really simple things like watering your plants, walking the dog, cleaning up your home a bit, calling a friend and asking how their day is going. You don't have to make some massive grand gesture. And most likely, you won't have the energy to do that because so much of your energy gets bound up in an isolated identity when you're triggered that you probably won't be able to offer massive heart extensions when you're in a triggered state. So, outreach is not about pushing yourself past your energy boundaries, but it is about being the boss. And as that wisdom self, getting the heart energy circulating again and reminding yourself that you're not alone, reminding that triggered part of you that is so dead set on feeling isolated that you're not alone. So let these be gentle, small, sustainable, loving acts. Maybe the person in the grocery store line looks a little bit rushed, so you let them go ahead of you. Loving outreach. It can also be something like picking up a can that was left in the street and throwing it away. So knowing that you are caring for the environment, you're creating it to be a more beautiful place, these all work. Basically, you're offering acts of loving care for others and the environment around you, and this is heart opening. When you practice conscious outreach, you will notice that you're sending yourself the signal that you're emotionally safe enough to reach out to others and share warmth. You are intentionally creating the reality where loving connection not only is possible, but is happening. And again, you are the catalyst for that. And this is very healing. And you can certainly ask that triggered part of yourself what kind of connection it longs for most. Listen, validate what your triggered part tells you, and give them care. You might take that wounded part of yourself for a nice walk in nature, or out for a lovely meal, or maybe it feels right to reach out to a mentor or a therapist to ask for some further reflection or perspective. And again, really important, just like with the blessings step, When you engage in outreach, stay with it till your emotional state makes a clear shift. Validate when your heart has softened some, maybe even just a little, just enough to register that you have the conscious power to bring yourself into nourishing connection. These are all ways to keep reminding yourself that you are the boss. And as that wisdom self, you always have the choice to shift your energy in a life-giving direction. And whenever you remember that, whenever you see yourself doing that, celebrate. Celebrate that truth that you have that power. Okay, so we have B, shifting your mind stream from one of curses to one of blessings. O, outreach. You're consciously stepping out of isolation and making loving connections, which will soften your heart and nourish your emotional body. And finally, we get to S. S is for shake it out. Here, you're going to offer care on the level of your physical body. Shaking it out provides the antidote for that sensation of stuckness that comes with being triggered. So you've already shifted the mind stream of curses, you've shifted the identity of being isolated, and now you're going to shift that stuckness in the physical body. Shake it out means physically moving the energy through your body to release the charge of excess tension. In case you haven't noticed, being triggered is a state of tension. The pattern of the tension will be different for everyone, but there absolutely will be a physiological response of tension when you identify as being triggered. All the life force gets crammed and locked. You might notice your breath becoming shallow, your shoulders tightening, maybe the jaw, right? Survival mode clicks into place. The armor comes up. Everything goes into protection mode. This is the fight, flight, freeze, or fawn responses, all of which are tension states. When you are in imminent danger, these are wise responses, but often the triggered state is out of current time. What is happening is a replay of a memory that has yet to be digested and integrated into your consciousness. And so all that physical tension that is arising is unnecessary and it's painful. It's painful on a physical level. If you watch wild animals, actually even domesticated animals, they intuitively know how to move their body to discharge the excess energy that gets bound up when there's a heightened exchange of some kind. And when they're on the other side of the actual exchange of that intensity, they intuitively re-regulate their nervous systems by they shake out and they roll around on the grass and they stretch and they yawn and they're really moving. So call on your animal wisdom and literally shake it out. Move your body in any way that feels good to you. Take a walk, dance, roll around on the floor or the bed. And it doesn't have to be huge movement. You can do this very subtly by taking relaxed, deep breaths, doing gentle micro movements. I think it's particularly nice to wave the spine around. If you're at work or a place where like big, intense movement is just not appropriate, then these gentle little wiggles are really useful. When I was a professor and I was in meetings, sometimes I would just roll my ankles or my wrists around, or I do like a little, a little head roll, a little shake it out. You can also stroke your hair, stroke your arms. You're giving your whole body, your whole nervous system, the message that it can relax. You're consciously signaling that everything is all right. And as you did with blessings and with outreach, make sure that you move until you actually notice a shift, until you actually experience the tension releasing. And with this one, particularly, make sure that you are not turning the tension deeper on yourselves. Sometimes people will turn their anger inwards towards their triggered selves in an abusive way, and this just creates more tension. It's not actually moving out of the boss. You're not really moving out of your wisdom state. So you can move in an exuberant, intensive, expressive, expansive way as long as it feels good, as long as you know that the boss is sponsoring that movement. And if the wisdom self is guiding the physical movement, then it is being done through loving intent, and that's what you want. So that's your boss practice. BOS. You can do it anytime you are feeling even the slightest bit triggered. Bless, outreach, and shake it out. And I offered this order. It works really well in this order, but you can do it in any order you want. All three are interdependent. And because your practice of spiritual mastery is a path of ease, start with the one that's the easiest for you. Most of us have one of the three that feels harder to do than the other two. And actually, this is something really valuable to get curious about. For me, outreach always needs a bit more attention. And for some other people, it feels really heavy to get their body moving, and others, their mind just gets locked into a cursing state and they're very resistant to giving and receiving blessings. So if you start with what is easy for you, it will loosen up the energy for you to be able to move to the ones that are a little more challenging. And then you just build more skill in those parts and you get better and better at giving yourself care. And you also don't have to wait until the trigger has taken over your entire nervous system to practice being the boss. Being a source of blessings, cultivating loving connection, and regularly discharging excess tension from your physical body. These are all things that you do naturally when you are identifying as your wisdom self. When you are grounded in your practice of spiritual mastery, this will be your way of life. So remember, you are the boss. It's not just an idea, that's the truth. You are the wisdom self, and you are free to turn your energy in a life-giving direction at any time. It is your natural state of being to be a walking field of blessings, to be in loving connection with yourself and those around you, and to be relaxed and grounded sweetly in your body. As you continue to deepen these practices, you will know that you are truly alive with good forces wherever you go. You are not on this path alone, and you do not have to grow through suffering. If you want further companionship on your way, the meditations on this channel are all built to refine and stabilize being in the state of the boss, being in your wisdom self. And all the other links to connect with me are in the description below. I love hearing about your journeys. I really do. So please go ahead and comment on how your practice is going. And lastly, please consider subscribing. That helps other people find the good forces here. And of course, share with others, pass on this video if it was resonant for you. May there be more growth through joy because of our connection here. Bye for now.